Hey guys, how you doing? It's a Great Apostate coming at you. So I lost a lot of weight recently, and then, unlike a lot of, or let's just say like a lot of people, I put all that fucking weight back on. It's hard, isn't it? You lose a ton of weight and then you're walking around with your new svelte physique and muscles where you didn't have muscles before, and like veins that are ripply. I never had ripply veins before, it was cool. And then suddenly you stop losing the weight, your body just like says, no, this is enough, mate, I'm not going to do it anymore. And then suddenly you're done, and then you get the hunger pangs again, and you go back to eating Kellogg's Crave, or the Lidl's version of it, which is actually nicer. And you know, and then once you're on that, then strawberry wagon wheels, McDonald's, all the sauces, chips, crisps. Oh, donuts, man, I miss donuts. But so I put all the weight back on, and here I am again, starting again, out for a walk. And I had a lovely day today. Yesterday was a fantastic day. Somebody contacted me from a blast from the past who I was friends with. Will not mention said person, but basically they'd been struck into go back to thinking about their JW past, and they bumped into my channel, and they said they kind of liked it because they knew the accent, they were used to it because they'd lived over here for a long time. And then they said, hang on a second, this guy's talking about stuff I know that story. And then you realise who I was, because I look a lot different these days, older and uglier and balder. And we got chatting, and so we spoke last night on the phone for 2.5 hours, talking about the past, talking about all the old scandals that each of us knew. And the funniest thing about it was we were laughing because, you know, back in the day when you were a Jehovah's Witness and you used to talk about how we were uniquely clean, and he was telling me about one guy and he really loved, and I was like, yeah, child abuser. And then he was talking to me about another guy he really loved. I was like, yeah, wife swapper. And then I had to, you know, and then I was telling them about this funny story about a lady in our Kingdom Hall who had a party, and she went to bed halfway through a bit drunk, and somebody came up and her husband came up and made mad passionate love to her, except he thought it was her husband. It wasn't. It was just somebody from the Kingdom Hall decided to take a chance, and that was never found out. I told him about our Kingdom Hall secretary, a notorious guy who I still have a bit of a like for. I see him every once in a while in my town, you know, with the magazines. And he was an elder and then got removed. I think they made him an elder again recently. But back when he was Kingdom Hall secretary, he accidentally lost all the Kingdom Hall records, financial records, because he stored them in his barbecue. Do you know where this story's going? At the same time, a lot of money disappeared. And there you go. And yeah, so we had all these stories and all these things in common, you know. And one of the funniest things we had in common was that we both liked different girls. He dated a girl that I used to really fancy, and there was, you know, and we had all these stories and all these sort of histories and together. But one of the things that we shared was that both of us liked girls that much preferred my brother. Because my brother was a very good looking young fella, and he was the one that the ladies wanted. And unfortunately, I remember I had this girlfriend one time and we had a conversation, and she basically said, like in the conversation, yeah, as if I could get your brother. I thought, oh my god, I'm ugly. And then he told me this story about how this girl, you know, she sat lying on his lap this entire drive, and then when he made his move to try to kiss her, she was like, what are you doing? Don't you know I fancy Stephen? And Stephen, of course, didn't want it because Stephen was a bit of a man whore back in those days. But that was really nice. It was catching up on people. Makes you realise there's a guy in his 50s who, much like myself, still got a lot of JW baggage, even all this time later. And just because I haven't made many videos about the subject in a long time, please don't think it's not there, because it's there every day, and the consequences of it are more noticeable, not less, more noticeable, especially in the lack of education and the difficulty with being able to finance your life, you know. It's days like this that I envy John Cedars, believe it or not, because that man made a grift of being an apostate, and I never bothered. But no, it's fine. It's one of those things. I was talking to my parents. I'm really lucky that both of them were still with me, even though I'm 50 this year. And they said the same thing. They said that as time goes on, they get more annoyed about the past, not less, because they realise what they've sacrificed, and not just what they've sacrificed, what they made their children sacrifice. So that one's for you. If you're a young person and you stumble onto an old exjw and you think he's funny, yeah, I'm funny, but you know, nobody knows the tears of this clown unless you actually know him, like my wife does, and then you probably think he's quite sad entirely. So guys, hope you have a lovely day. Take care. If you do want to help the Great Apostate out, I wrote a book called The Great Apostate, and I also wrote a book called How to Leave a Cult. Both of them are reviewed quite well on Facebook, which pleases me. I mean, so if you fancy having a read of those, get down there now and have a look. Take care guys, bye bye.